Hello, 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 ladies. Thank you all for joining. I see that people are currently logging in right now. I just want to give folks some time because we had over 90 people that registered. I know a lot of folks are probably coming off from work and the job. So I want to be one respectful of folks' times because super excited that so many potential applicants are interested in She Leads this upcoming year, but also want to give folks a little time to hop on. So I will begin at 6:02. So in the interim, just relax, get your thoughts and everything in mind as we go through the overall process leading up into the LOI portion of the She Leads program. And also, earlier today we had the report launch, which was a look at, unfortunately, some of the stats within the state of Louisiana as related to the barriers that we face as women of color throughout the state, but the necessity within programming and direct service and direct relief from the program of She Leads from Power Coalition to be able to address some of these barriers and the root causes of certain things that we have seen throughout our communities from the very beginning, right? Why it's so important to have a program such as this. So, good evening. Again, excited. If you do have a friend or someone that may be interested in She Leads and can't join, if they have registered, everyone will receive a recording of our informational webinar in their inbox. And feel free to share that information again with individuals who have not joined. So, if we will begin, my name is Janae Jameson. I am the Director of Programs here at the Power Coalition for Equity and Justice. This is going to be the third cohort for She Leads. She Leads was created in 2019, really just a vision of how we can provide resources to women of color on the ground or unsung heroes, connecting women of color to different leaders within philanthropy, for connecting them to different resources to help them leverage their work, but also how as individuals, how can we help you grow in leadership and development to help you carry on this work. And in 2020, we did take a break from She Leads due to the pandemic. 2021, 2022 was very impactful, amazing fellows throughout the state of Louisiana. And again, earlier today, we highlighted those success. And so looking forward to 2022 and 2023, again, enriching and pouring into those who work the hardest within our communities. So Taylor, you can go on to the next slide. So again, the overview of Power Coalition, who we are, what we do, the overview of the program, the application process, LOI, and we will have some room for at the end of tonight for you to have question and answers answered in live. So the Power Coalition, who we are and what we do. Well, if you are on this webinar, you at least have a slight idea of who our organization or what our organization is. But the Power Coalition, we are the 501c3 civic engagement table for the state of Louisiana. And we work particularly in listening to the needs of community and ensuring that we are moving and as a collective unit, right? As a coalition, a collective front on the ground to not only be centered in voting rights and advocacy and GOTV campaigns, but also providing resources to community on the ground with programs such as She Leads, fighting for particular policies within Black and Brown communities and advocating to turn these thoughts and ideas and policies into actual laws, connecting the dots in community-based issues such as census and redistricting and accountability for elected officials, and as well as educating the masses around elections and why certain things are important, providing robust volunteer opportunities and mobilization opportunities around particular issues within the community, as well as also generating education and resources to our youth as well. And I will say within the pandemic, Power Coalition has also shifted because we all know that when we have to work based off of the needs of the community, things happen as well. So at that point, we had shifted into educating folks around vaccinations and providing real information, and also providing direct relief aid and services to those on the ground during Hurricane Ida and other opportunities to actually help community members and churches, as well as connecting them around environmental justice issues as well. So when I say that Power Coalition does it all, we really do it all. And the heart of it all is also centering our Black and Brown communities and leveraging work overall. So again, She Leads. So if you just hopped on, or if you didn't hear earlier, She Leads started off as a simple idea of how do we invest in women of color, right? We know when we center Black women, when we center women of color in policy and advocacy, we all win. We also know that since the inception of this country, throughout Deep South Louisiana, when people are systematically excluded from the democratic process, there are certain things that are all but inevitable, right? And so, as a unit, as a coalition, as a collective voice, we can be able to break these systemic barriers. But how, as an organization, how are we able to do that? And that's simply by investing in communities, organizations on the ground, and trusting Black and Brown women in leadership. So with She Leads, we are seeking to invest in women of color who are 18 years or older. I will tell you this, do not feel intimidated or afraid if you're 18 and you feel like you're too young. Do not feel intimidated or afraid if you're in your 60s and you may feel that you are older. This is a cohort, this is a program that is based off of the needs of the applicants in your interest, and also centering everyone. Every single person has a role. Every single person has a job. Every single person has a passion or something that connects them to what they love as it relates to community engagement and organizational development, and even your own leadership development capabilities. So again, don't feel shy or intimidated to join at whatever age you are. You do have to reside in certain metro areas throughout the state of Louisiana, right? So applicants must reside in Alexandria, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Shreveport, Lake Charles, or the river parishes, but you can live in a city nearby. So what does that mean? If you're in New Orleans and you live in Kenner or Metairie, sure, you can still apply. If you are in Shreveport and you're actually in Bossier or Houghton, you can still apply. Baton Rouge, if you're in Baker, Port Allen, you can still apply. Alexandria, you're in Pineville, you can still apply. But we are still trying to hone in on these metro areas that are closely connected to disparities and barriers as it relates to the pay wage gap, as it relates to minimum wage, as it relates to housing insecurity or economic injustices throughout the state. So that's why we're specific around certain cities. But our hope is, as the coalition continues to grow, as She Leads continues to get highlighted in the successes of the program, we'll be able to actually expand further throughout the state. And I see someone says Denham Springs, right on the outskirts of Baton Rouge. Yes, feel free to apply as well. As long as you're within those parish lines, you are fine. One of the other qualifications, of course, is, are you directly affected or have significant direct experiences with the issues or the policies or the practices within your community? And really, do you want to utilize that power? How do you want to utilize that power? And often within traditional philanthropy, it's either or as it relates to supporting an organization or direct services. And again, She Leads wants to be able to fill that gap. And She Leads wants to be able to, again, trust Black women, women of color, and Black and Brown organizations to really create their own healing strategies to get through different solutions within their community. I also want to highlight as well that if you don't even have a particular full thought out process or project in mind, it is okay to apply if you simply just want to gain additional knowledge and want to broaden your leadership development and capabilities. She Leads is invested in doing just that, investing in the individual and your leadership and your growth, right? Connecting you to the right people, ensuring that you are receiving the accurate trainings within your field, or really helping you put your foot in the door so that you can be able to build and network and leverage with other like-minded women and individuals and organizations that can help you. Next slide. So the process is very, very simple. So fellows are awarded up to $3,000 for, this is a 5-month period, but actually She Leads is a 7 to 8 month period, right? So within this time frame, you will be awarded up to $3,000. Traditionally, fellows have not received all of the funding upfront collectively. You are receiving a certain allocated amount or a stipend to help you further engage your leadership development or your project within particular stages. Fellowship awards are made to the individuals and are not project based. So again, we're investing in you. So for instance, if you have an organization, that is fine. We have had fellows that have their own businesses, that have their own organizations, but again, that specific grant is being awarded to you. So to provide clarity, my name is Janae Jameson. I have a company, Her Story, which is a brand, it's a podcast. But if I were to apply for She Leads, that grant would be awarded to Janae Jameson and not necessarily my organization. But these funds that I'm using are helping me to build out or further develop my organization or further develop my project. So that's the differences within that. And also looking at the application process, it's 3 stages to the application process. So first, all applicants must select a letter of interest or a letter of intent. So the LOI process is going on now. It opened in May and it will continue until June 21st. And the application is fairly simple. You must answer 5 questions, seeking the insight, further interest into your goals and your plan for the fellowship term in the program. Why are you interested? If you were given these funds, how would you use it? Just so that we could get more information about who you are, what you do, and why you're fully connected, so I can learn more about you, right? Then second, myself, a lot of my colleagues, we're going to come together and select a group of finalists. As you can see, 32 women are attending right now. Over 95 women had registered. So it's a large pool of women throughout the state of Louisiana who are interested in this. We are only going to award up to 20 women. So unfortunately, we will have to weed out some individuals. Those who have made it to the next process or have made it to the next round, you all will be called back to have a full proposal or a full application process. And within that application process, you will have, again, additional questions and a more detailed proposal to present, and you will go through an interviewing process with a panelist or a reviewers committee that is a makeup of past cohort, past fellows, past women in philanthropy, and other executive committee members of the Power Coalition team. And we will announce those awards in early August. So typically by the 3rd of August, you will have known if by that time, if you are a She Leads fellow. And then we'll go into the full session review and additional information as relates to the upcoming virtual sessions and what does it mean to be in the program fully, carrying on into March of 2023. Next slide. And again, this just is providing more clarity of what that LOI is. Many of you on this call have already submitted the LOI. I know there was some confusion on do I submit a separate document or do I just complete the form? And the answer to that is you simply complete the form. If you go to powercoalition.org/she leads, and Taylor will share that screen once we finish this presentation. But if you go to our website, there's a form embedded on the website where there are 5 key questions. You can be as short as you want to be. You can be as detailed as you want to be. Because again, this is just the first step of the screening process. But I do encourage you to provide as much information as possible and not just to provide short, vague answers, right? You want to be able to share your story, to share your narrative, to share why this is important to you and to your community and how this would impact you and make a difference within your community if you are chosen to go to the next process. And as you see again here, the answers can be brief, but focus on how this fellowship is really going to impact you and help your activism work or help you as an individual, help you in your leadership capabilities. For us to learn more about you, feel free to upload additional documents. If you were featured in the newspaper, right? If you have this amazing portfolio, if you have your resume, your bio, if you have different op-eds, if there are different pictures of you in the community, feel free to upload those things just so we can get a better understanding and idea of who you are, where you are within your organization and within your work. But again, don't feel discouraged if you don't have this long list of accomplishments. The beauty within She Leads, the beauty within the development of the program is, again, we have some women who have worked in philanthropy, who are business owners, who have had organizations for 10 years. And we have some women who have been 18, 19, 20, or even 30 years old who just want to step out on faith and want to take something new. They know that they want to be a leader. They see different things within their community that keeps them up at night, but they just need help and coaching to help make their thoughts and ideas into an actual plan and to execute it. So again, be as honest as you want to be as open as you want to be, but never feel discouraged in thinking that you aren't qualified to apply for this program because it's focused on building you into the leader that you want to be. And again, all LOIs are due by 11:59 p.m. on June 21st. So you have some time. I mean, right now, it's the 7th of June. You have about 2 weeks out for you to complete those 5 questions. And then you will have a follow-up within the next upcoming week to let you know where you are within the application phase. And there it is, y'all. Does anyone have any questions that they would like to want me to answer? You can provide it in the chat or use the Q&A, but I want to make sure that we have the opportunity that if there are questions that you want to ask, that we address it now. But Taylor, I do want you to share the screen and go to powercoalition.org/she leads so that they're able to see where they can actually click the link and complete the LOI process so they can look at it. Okay, so I'm looking in the chat, y'all. For clarification, we have to conduct our project/initiatives within 8 months of receiving the funds. Yes, that is correct. The program is only 8 months long. In fact, it's 7 to 8 months long. And I say 7 to 8 months because more so the award announcement is in August, and we may have an opening reception in August, but our first real session is going to take place in September. And sessions are virtual. They're through Zoom. They typically happen the second Wednesday of each month in the evening, like around 6:30. But it is a full commitment, right? So, and that's one thing that I want to share too. This is a full commitment. When you want to grow and elevate in the work, there's dedication. There's commitment to a cause, to an issue, to a movement. So we want applicants who are going to be serious. And we do understand that, look, one of my favorite quotes, if you've heard me speak before, I'm going to say this till I can't say it anymore. We don't live single issue lives. So please don't think for a second that I'm not thinking about different women who, again, are career oriented and business women, who are mothers, who are wives, who are wearing multiple hats. But as it relates to the commitment of this program, you're only meeting the second Wednesday of each month, and it is virtual. So we do want full attendance. You will be provided additional courses, additional trainings, and other opportunities from other philanthropic networks to help you build and grow as well, outside of those sessions. And there may be some in-person events that will take place, and we will encourage you to attend. But in doing so, there is only a slim window for you to miss certain activities or event, and that's two. We give you at least, sometimes things happen. So if there are one or two sessions or events or something that you can't fully commit to, I completely understand. And based off different things that may happen in your life that's personal, you can't be there. I completely understand. But as it relates to the dedication and commitment, we want folks to be fully dedicated. But even to further answer your question, let's say something happens and you have not finished your project in those 8 months. Again, don't feel discouraged because you weren't able to finish that project within that 8-month period. We're still going to help you until the very end within that program for you to think about what's those next steps towards completion, and possibly how can we further partner with you, or at least connect you to the proper organization or foundation or group to help you to continue to build your work. So don't think that within these 8 months, we're shoving you out there and pushing you out in the wilderness by yourself. In fact, during the report launch this morning, a past She Leads alumni, Roishetta Ozen, shared on that call that, look, time had passed. I finished the program, but there still was an ongoing project that I thought it was necessary to address within the needs of my community. I reached out to Janae. She helped me go through the steps, built out a proposal, and additional funds were allocated. So there will be certain instances when something like that happens, and we're there to help and support. Let's see what else is on in the chat. Is this process ongoing after 8 months? Oh yeah, okay, I just answered that. Will we be able to connect with previous alumni? How long are the sessions? 6 p.m. until? Yes, you will have the opportunity to connect with She Lead alums. And I'm smiling when I think about it, because it's just like the success and the growth as you see from year to year. It's just so phenomenal. But yeah, some of the sessions will feature previous alums from She Leads. When we have different in-person events, some She Leads alumni will be present and be there to share their stories and connect with you as well and build partnerships. Because again, this is a sisterhood, right? Once you finish this program, we are still going to send past fellows information about different opportunities, and we encourage you all to build and grow together and partner together. So yes, it will still be that connection. And typically sessions are from 6 to 8 p.m., right? Some may be a little shorter, because I'm very intentional about people's times and commitment. But again, it's only the second Wednesday of each month. So the time that we have allocated towards that, it's important that you're available and fully attentive.
We have a question in the chat. It's sent from Tammy Jones. She has lots of ideas for her 501c3 around housing and women coming out of prison. And now her desire is to empower grandparents, single parent households. And so she's all over the place and needs someone that can help her combine her passions and etc. So I guess the question is, should she apply? And like, how would She Leads help her with that?
Yeah, so Tammy, definitely apply, because again, looking at past experiences and past projects, there have been women that had similar experiences like you, right? Like there are multiple different things that have happened within their life, within their community, and you're just simply trying to streamline and how you can make goal-oriented decisions, solution-based decisions to help provide relief as it connects to some of the issues within your community and within your home. So still apply. The whole point of She Leads is to help you build those thoughts and ideas into an actual reality, into an actual project, or into your individualistic leadership development to help you be on the ground and support folks that are directly connected to these issues. So again, if there are many things that you want to do, the goal of you attending the program is that from the start of the program to the ending of the program, you will have been able to connect the dots in these shared experiences and thoughts and ideas to a full-fledged either project, organization, or complete a specific goal that you want to pinpoint and focus on throughout the 8-month period. Um, okay, someone's just saying hello, just thrilled. Okay, awesome. Um, so I'm trying to make sure that I did not miss any question if someone has anything. Let me go ahead.
Here's another one from Kendra. I might have said your first name wrong. I'm so sorry. Carter is the last name. What are some examples of what the funding was used for? So past fellows, what was their funding used for?
Yeah, so I always like to highlight Morgan Walker with Bike and Vote. You know, her organization, Bike and Vote, which is a young Gen Z millennial movement organization that was focused on mobilizing hundreds and thousands throughout the state of Louisiana to the poll. That was one project. You have some that were actually connecting the dots between business and policy development as it relates to healthcare and healthcare services and centering women in policy. They were able to connect those dots and help fully build out their actual business. You have some women that use the funds to really help them with leadership development. Some women that were focused on being public speakers or being authors, being podcasters, being bloggers. So it's so many different differences within community development that you can use the funds toward.
Nichelle asks, do we contact you directly for details or questions? And I was going to drop you and Taylor's email addresses in the chat.
Yeah, so leading up until the point of She Leads, definitely shoot me an email if you have any additional questions. But as it relates to the actual program, there's going to be specific time that I will be making for one-on-one sessions to help you all further develop your thoughts and ideas and support throughout your projects. We're going to be connecting again to you to different speakers and different folks that are focused and leaders in specific industries that you will have direct communication and contact with to really help you. So again, it's an organization and it's a program that's focused on really providing additional support and kind of like filling in those gaps to certain barriers that you may have when trying to reach your concrete goal within your project.
I don't see any other questions, Janae. Did you want to go through the LOI?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
And so, I mean, this right here is what I spoke about earlier. If you go to sheleads.org, go to powercoalition.org/she leads, it will bring you to the She Leads page. There is a tab. Morgan, in fact, if you could actually just go back so they know exactly what to click on as we're looking at it. So right here, if you go to powercoalition.org/she leads, it will bring you up to this page. If you would click this tab, or you can scroll all the way down actually, because there's two different ways you can go through it. You can either click the tab on She Leads, or you can scroll all the way down at the bottom of the right here where it says apply to submit an LOI. You can click there. And then in doing so, it just brings together what this overall webinar was about. It shows who the Power Coalition is, why our group was established, why it was started, what we have done, why we are centered and focused on investing in women of color, and why it's so important into the overall movement. As you continue to scroll down, it gives you additional details on how to apply. And again, this is pretty much just bring in together all of the slides in the presentation that I went through, highlighting again that the LOI, you have until June 21st at 11:59 p.m. And then continue to scroll down, Morgan, so they can actually see what the LOI form looks like. And so again, it's very simple. We're just trying to get your contact information, your name, your race and ethnicity, your zip code, so we know that you're actually, within area of one of the regions that we want to invest funding in on the ground, and then provide just more information about who you are, what you do, what are your interests, what you have done within the community, what would you do with these funds, and then provide you with the opportunity again to attach additional information so that we can learn more about you. And that's it. That's all the LOI is. So you can be, I will encourage you to be brief, but provide as much details as possible and be focused on your answers, right? And I say that to say that in the past, when I've said be brief, people have given me like one sentence responses. I can't learn about really who you are within one sentence. And because so many different women are applying, it will be easier to weed out someone, unfortunately, if they're vague and they don't provide enough details. So be brief. Give me at least 5 to 7 sentences of how this can impact you and why it's so important to you. And that is all I have, guys. If you do have any additional questions, again, feel free to email me at Janae, Janea. Oh, that's not even my email. My email is jjameson. So it's JJAMISON at powercoalition.org. Feel free to email me there. My contact information is also on the website. So if you go to powercoalition.org and you click on the team, you'll see my email there as well. And it's also in the chat. I cannot promise that I will be as responsive as I would like to be within the next upcoming days, because I will take some time off for myself, and we do have a lot of conferences and things that are going on. But please email me. Also CC Taylor. Taylor is our program coordinator on the Power Coalition team. So we are there. I will respond in the amount of time that I have. But do not feel discouraged. If it is in your heart to apply, please apply. If you think that this is a good idea or opportunity for someone else that's in your community, because you feel you may not have the time or the dedication for the program, be sure to share it with them. But the opportunity is there. The program is amazing. It's built so much throughout the years. I get so much joy when I think about how She Leads has grown and what was a thought and idea, and how beautiful the overall layout of the program has been, and how impactful and life-changing it's been for so many different She Leads fellows of the past. So again, my name is Janae Jameson, Director of Programs with Power Coalition. I do hope that you all have a great evening. And this concludes our informational webinar. If you have additional questions, feel free to shoot me an email, and y'all have a great evening.